right, my lovelies, lily dudes. Sugars, sugar mountains on the moon, sugar flowers, sugar lilies, mountain laurels, mountain lilies, honeysuckles. Let's go, babies. All right. What are we doing? Well, more documents, of course. ISP. We are on, what are we on? We're on supplement 168. Now, I got a feeling we're going to be talking to Mr. Jack Decor one more time. So let's see what this is. All right, we got Detective Sergeant Van Dutchie interviewed date of birth 2000 on several occasions, beginning on November 15th. Right, I interviewed Jack at the Idaho State Police District 1 office on the 15th of November. Jack was the ex-boyfriend of victim Kaylee G. All right, Jack had been dating Kaylee since they were in high school and dated on and off for approximately 5 years. Jack said that they had broken up approximately 3 months earlier due to her taking a job in Austin, and that it had been a mutual decision with no drama. Okay. Jack advised that he was driving a He said that this vehicle was owned by Kaylee's parents, and they were allowing him to drive the vehicle. Okay. Interesting. Jack advised that he lived there in Moscow with a number of roommates. Jack listed his roommates as blah, 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 blah. Blah and blah. In that order, by the way, I noted that the location of Jack's apartment and the crime scene were very close to each other. I noted that Jack and his roommates were all members of this particular fraternity. I asked Jack to describe his whereabouts and events leading up to the time that the homicides occurred. On Saturday the 12th, November 12th, Jack advised that he was at work at the Corner Club bar between 2:30 p.m., or maybe not, maybe this is somewhere else, between 2:30 p.m. and 10:30 p.m., working mostly in the kitchen. Jack drove home to the duplex and went upstairs, where he found roommates and blank. Also present was a friend who was not a roommate named Psycho Killer Jack. Part 2. No. Blank. Jack went downstairs, changed into a sweatshirt, got a beer, and waited for a sober driver who was a blank freshman to come pick them up. Jack said that the sober driver arrived in what he thought was a black Nissan Xterra and took him and these people and this person to the Corner Club. Okay. Yeah. Jack said they arrived at the Corner Club around 11 p.m. He said the club was packed and that they were admitted in because his roommate, was working at the club and let them in. Is this Adam? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Jack said he got into a confrontation with a member named this because this person had been messing with one of his friends. Oh, really? Oh, Jack Decor, really? Oh, we all thought he was so meek and mild. Maybe not. Jack's friend, blank, who was there, told blank to lay off, and blank bought each other a shot. Okay. Jack said he saw Kaylee at the club that night and was completely jealous. No. It was not uncommon for Kaylee to be at the club. Jack said that he thought Kaylee was accompanied by Madison Mogan and this other girl, who was blank's girlfriend. Jack said he left at approximately 1 a.m. Jack said he, blank and blank, were picked up from the club by blank, who was president of the fraternity, and returned to their apartment. Okay. Barracuda. I don't know. Jack said he had consumed 2 beers, 2 shots of tequila, 1 shot of Rumpelminze, and a 32-ounce tub of beer. And that's all. That's all he drank. Okay. Everybody's an alcoholic, I guess, in Moscow, Idaho. Yes, they are. He said after returning to the apartment, no, I don't know, guys. That's a lot, though, I guess. I don't know, but hey, young and dumb, right? Young and dumb. He said, I don't know. He said after returning to the apartment, he hung out with his roommates for a period of time and then snuck out while nobody was watching. No. And tried to throw up but couldn't and went to bed. Sure. Jack said he woke up around 11:30 a.m. next day, Sunday, the 13th. Jack said blank, 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 and blank came into the apartment and talked about cops being down the street near the King Road house. He tried to call Kaylee on the phone, but no answer. Jack said he walked down the street where Kaylee's house was and saw Hunter Johnson, who was Ethan Chapin's friend, or brother, who was Ethan Chapin's brother, right, his brother. Okay. Jack said he asked one of the officers on scene to tell him what was going on and told an officer that his ex-girlfriend lived in the house. Jack said the police put him in the back. Jack said the police put him in the back of a patrol car for about 45 minutes. Also present sitting with was another Jack said was a good friend of Kaylee's. At some point, the University of Idaho put out a text university-wide announcing a homicide had occurred. Okay. Well, the officer may have asked him to sit in the patrol car, but he also told Jack he could leave, but Jack decided he wanted to stay in the patrol car, which he failed to mention here. At my request, Jack drew a sketch of Kaylee's house and labeled the rooms by the names of the persons he knew to be living in each room. Which is completely pointless, but whatever. I have attached these drawings to this supplement and will transfer them to the Moscow Police Department. I will also scan these sketches and place the scans on a disc to include the audio recordings of Jack's interviews as well as other documents. I asked Jack if he had any idea who could have been responsible for committing these homicides. Jack advised that he had seen a video from the grub truck on Main Street the night before showing a blank member named blank, seeming to follow Kaylee and Maddie from the area of the grub truck before they went home. Was that Jack Showalter? Jack also advised that he had heard from blank that a man named this had been acting predatory at the corner club the night before and that the corner club had kicked him out. Right? Is that Mr. Cole? I asked Jack to describe what vehicles the 4 victims drove. Jack advised Maddie drove a white Chevy Cruze, Kaylee drove a silver Range Rover, Ethan drove a red Jeep Wrangler, and Xana drove a blue Honda Civic. Blue Honda Civic. Right. Remember that blue Honda Civic that supposedly picked them up at the grub truck? Could be that one. I don't know. Interesting. We took a break. No, it's supposed to be Eric. It's supposed to be Eric picking them up, right? I don't know. We took a break and Jack left the room to speak to his mama, who was concerned about him. Yeah, I wonder why. Upon returning from speaking with his mother, Jack said he did not want to continue the interview without a lawyer being present. We stopped the interview and Jack left. Aha. Uh-huh. Yeah. So he lawyered up. Nothing to hide, right, guys? Nothing to hide. Got nothing to hide, baby. Okay, Jack returned on November 17th, accompanied by his attorney, Mr. Jed Nixon, which is the most perfect Idaho name you could possibly fucking imagine. After a brief recap of what we had discussed 2 days before, we resumed talking about Jack, about his recollections of what had happened again on the night of the homicides. Jack said that he, blank and blank, got back to their apartment a little after 1 a.m. He said his bedroom was on the main floor. He said he hung out with his friends for 10 to 15 minutes. Jack advised he was drunk. I asked him to estimate on a scale of 1 to 10 how drunk he was, because that's always an accurate thing to do. Jack said he would put his level of intoxication at an 8 out of 10. So he was almost blacked out. According to this non-standardized scale, Jack advised he had never experienced memory lapses, had never walked in his sleep, and had never acted while asleep. Jack advised he went to bed at approximately 1:20 a.m. Jack said when he woke up the next day, he noticed that he had a number of missed calls from both Kaylee and Maddie. There were approximately 7 from Kaylee and 3 from Maddie. Jack said that he had no argument with Kaylee the night before and that there was no dispute and no one was upset about anything. I noted in looking at phone records that there had been several text messages the night before between Jack and Kaylee. The last text message from Kaylee to Jack at 2:15 a.m. telling him that she had his vape and that he could come and pick it up at her house. I advised Jack that there appeared to be a telephone call at 2:26 a.m. between him and Kaylee. That, yes, you guys already ahead of me on this. You've seen this before. All right, this is the first time I'm seeing this. This phone call lasted approximately 17 minutes the night before. Jack said he did not recall the phone call and he can't explain it. Yeah. He can remember every other fucking detail except that phone call. Right, guys? He can remember every other detail, though. What time he got home, how long he was talking to his friends for, what time he went to bed, how much alcohol he had to drink, but he just can't seem to remember the 17-minute phone call with his ex-girlfriend. Oh, on the night that she gets unalived. What are the chances of that, guys? What are the chances that you can remember every other detail from your evening, as drunk as you are, but you suddenly forget about this phone call? That was 17 minutes. Suspect number 1, guys. Or number 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. Because 1 and 1 and 1 equals 3, guys. But in this case, we're talking about 4. 4 is always the golden rule. Jack said he did not recall the button of the phone to turn the ringer off. Oh, I'm sorry, you missed that. He can't explain it. Jack said maybe in his sleep he thought it was an alarm and he pushed the side button of the phone to turn the ringer off. Oh, so he just had the call on for 17 minutes. Sure. Well, there's nobody else to ask about it. Now, is there, Jack? You fucking shit. You fucking shit. Well, we can't ask Kaylee to confirm it, now can we? Or Maddie, can we? No, you lying piece of shit. You're a scumbag too. You're a scumbag. Yes, you are. You can remember everything else about your evening. You can't remember the 17 minutes, though. Okay. What'd you do with that, Idaho State Police? Nothing, I guess, right? You can just lie and make up random stories and it gets you off. I've learned that Jack had been referred to the because one of his professors was concerned about The blank website states the mission of this is to provide care and concern for students, faculty, and staff who are traumatized or upset or depressed or suicidal, perhaps. Right, Jack? And then they block out this huge thing here. Okay? They block out this whole entire section, Idaho State Police. Why? Jack said that he had been missing more classes than normal and that the breakup with Kaylee had been bothering him. Oh, but I thought it was mutual. Wasn't it mutual? 2 days ago, on the 15th, you said it was fine and it was mutual. Now all of a sudden it's bothering you. Uh-oh. He talked about her going to Texas and the fact that she initiated the breakup. Uh-huh. So it wasn't mutual, you fucking liar. It bothered you quite a bit. In fact, it probably really made you angry and upset, you fucking lying prick. So much so that you were missing classes and professors were getting concerned about your behavior. That they referred you to the mental health counseling center or some other type of mental health concern center to take care of your mental health. That's right, you fucking lying prick. Sorry, guys, but this guy's a lying prick. All right. I asked Jack directly if he had committed these unalivings. He stated clearly that he did not. Jack consensually gave a DNA sample at my request. He also gave his cell phone to be downloaded. I later took the DNA samples and transferred them to the custody of the Moscow Police Department. I took the thumb drive containing the download from Jack's phone and transferred that to the custody of the Moscow Police Department. Jack signed consent forms for both his DNA and for the download of his phone. I had scanned these forms and placed them on a disk, which will be transmitted to the Moscow Police Department. I attached the original forms to this supplement. The remainder of my conversation with Jack on the 17th involved victimology-related questions. Please see the audio recording for more detail. I had a number of follow-up questions and interactions over the course of this investigation, vital with with Jack. Jack was cooperative and helpful throughout. Isn't that lovely? On November 18, 2022, Jack consented to a search of his room, bathrooms, common areas, and downstairs laundry of his apartment in Moscow, 5 days after the event. Forensic scientist Carrie Hogan, ISP detective Jeff Talbot, and I entered the apartment on 9:17 p.m. on the 18th. It's a little late, but all right. After searching the areas Jack had consented to, we found a drop of possible blood on a wall of the entryway. A sample of this was collected. We also noticed what could have been 5 or 6 small drops or runs of blood on a kitchen wall. Samples were also collected. Ooh, it sounds like Jack Showalter's apartment. This search and collection of possible bullet drop samples was documented through photographs by forensic scientist Hogan. We left the apartment at 8:20 p.m. Yeah, 8:20. So they got there what? What? I'm confused here now in the times here. So they left the apartment at 20:20, but they entered the apartment at 21:17. I think we're a little confused here, guys, on when we entered and left the apartment. Unless we went back in time. Somehow here, Idaho. Yeah. Okay. Fucked up, right? Just another simple mistake. Yeah, possible bullet drop samples were documented. I don't know what bullet drop. Okay, whatever. Anyway, we time traveled and left the apartment at 20:20 after arriving at 21:17. Documents related to the consent, including consent form and maps and pictures prepared by Jack, are included on the disk. The original documents will be attached to this supplement and transferred to the Moscow Police Department. The search was also documented by video. These recordings were placed on a disk and will be transferred to the Moscow Police Department. I had additional follow-up questions with Jack Decor on November 18th, the 21st, and the 22nd of November. The conversations on the 21st and 22nd were recorded and are on the disk. Jack advised that he and Kaylee were co-owners of a mini golden doodle dog named Murphy, who was 11 months old. Murphy had been in the house with Kaylee and the others on the night of the homicides had occurred. On January 4, 2023, I contacted Jack through his attorney, Jed Nixon, and asked him to bring Murphy to the Idaho State Police in Coeur d'Alene so I could take samples of his hair. Jack brought the dog in, and I clipped samples from 3 places: the top of the dog's head, the mid-back, and from his chest area. The samples were transmitted to Moscow Police Department on January 5th, 2023 by Detective Tollison. Okay. I guess we didn't do that until we got the wolf, right? Huh, interesting. Oh, nothing further. Okay. So, blood drops in Jack Decor's apartment. Oh, 5 or 6 running down the kitchen wall. Yeah, that's just, I guess nothing happened with them. Okay. Yeah, the grieving ex-boyfriend. Yeah, the one who's got mental problems because they broke up and couldn't remember a 17-minute phone call that they had. He could remember everything else that fucking night, though. Yeah, so why isn't he in custody? He's another better suspect than Brian, who doesn't know any of the victims. Yep. Yeah, that was 168, guys. That's an interesting one. Whoa. Yep. Yes, indeed. All right, one more, and we're going to cut it right here. Hey, wait a minute. Don't we have to do a song to give away a hoodie? Well, I think we should get to the song. Jeez, Master Nature. What are you doing all in Master Nature? Actually, guys, let's just get on with the show, the video. All right, guys, we're skipping 169. That's more of the same about Brian's behavior at the school, more of the same information. Condescending to women, all this same stuff we've heard. It's just really, I didn't find anything particularly new in there. So we're moving on to 170. Okay, so let's see what this is about. All right. So we have another interview. Okay. Witness 1, 28-year-old white male. From Moscow. Okay, here's the narrative. November 18th, 5 days after the event, Idaho State Police Detective Tollison and I, Detective Sergeant Michael Van, you know what it is, Schlong on my dong, Dutch, interviewed blank, date of birth 1994, at the MPD. Blank was the blank, Eric was the driver that dropped Kaylee and Maddie off at their house prior to the unalivings. As an Uber as blank, as Eric was one of the last people to see the victims prior to the homicides, he was a definite person of interest. Wow, I'm surprised they got that one right in the investigation. I'm surprised they got that one right. Wow. Yeah. Eric cooperated fully and completely with our inquiries. Okay. He provided his telephone and consented to a search of the phone, as well as providing us with the password for the phone. The phone was downloaded during the interview and returned back to him before he left. The consent form for the phone was scanned and the scan placed on a disk to be given to the Moscow Police Department. The original signed consent form will be transferred to the MPD. Eric also consented to giving us a sample of his DNA. I took the sample using buccal swabs, and I transferred those swabs to the MPD. Eric removed his shirt and allowed us to look for any injuries he might have on his arms or torso. No injuries were observed. This interview was recorded with both audio as well as video. These recordings have been placed on a disc, and those will also be given to Moscow Police Department. Eric advised that he was a driver for both Uber as well as blank. He drove this type of car, bearing Idaho license plate number that. He said he's one of the only drivers in the area that serves Moscow. We covered some biographical history regarding him. All right. On Friday, November 11th, Eric had worked until 3 a.m. He started driving again between 10:30 and 11 a.m. on the 12th. Beginning at 3 or 4 in the afternoon, he had steady work until 3 or 4 in the morning. Eric advised his wife was not a fan of him staying out late driving, but that weekend, she was out of town with her parents in Hayden, Idaho. Eric advised that he had given Kaylee 10 to 15 rides since the last school year. Eric said he had also given Maddie rides but didn't know about Ethan or Xana. He said that around 10 p.m., Kaylee had texted asking for a ride to the corner club. Eric thought that there were 3 girls on that ride. He advised he drove them directly from the house where Kaylee lived to the club. He advised he had driven this route several times before. He said he doesn't remember what the conversation in the car was about on the way to the club. He said he has not heard or overheard any problems from the group of people that Kaylee is usually with. He said he tries his best not to be a creep. Well, that's good. Tries his best, guys, not to be a creep. Not sure what that means, but that's weird. I guess you have to try. Okay. Woo. Eric said he got another text from Kaylee at 1:45 a.m. asked to be picked up at the grub truck. He said when he picked Kaylee and Maddie up at the grub truck, Kaylee sat in the front and Maddie sat in the back. He said he drove the 2 girls directly from the grub truck to their house. He said that Kaylee was a little more drunk than Maddie. Well, you got that wrong. You got that one wrong there, Eric. Anyway, he said when he got to the house that the lights were on, and the lights were on when he got to the house, right? And that there were 4 cars parked in the driveway. He said he noticed a black SUV on the left side sticking out. He also said there was a silver car on the road. Blank did not notice anyone walking on the road. He watched the girls go into the house. Eric said on the occasion they didn't pay him for the ride. I'm sorry. What? He said on this occasion they didn't pay him for the ride. Okay. He said that was not unusual and that he expected that they would pay him later. Wow, that's so nice of you. Eric said he never gave rides for free and that there was always the understanding that they would pay. Sure. He said he had never been into the house or anyone's house as a driver. He He advised that the girl's state of inebriation was pretty standard. He said that this ride was off the books, meaning that it was on his own personal time and not managed through Uber. Yeah, the girls had his number and contacted him directly. Right, because that's normal. He said that 5 to 10% of the rides he gives are off the books. Okay. Whatevers. I don't know. Guess that's, I don't know. I don't know. He said he did not go back to the girl's residence that night. When asked to provide an alibi, he stated that he was home at the time of the unalivings. And? Okay. He said he could support... Blank said he could support him being home at the time of the homicide by providing security camera footage from around his house showing his vehicles parked there and what time he got home. Okay. I asked him to provide a copy of this footage to the MPD, and he said he would. I wonder if he did. I was later advised that he did bring a copy of that footage into the police department and turned it over to them. Okay. He said he first became aware of the homicides through the vandal alert text. He said he was shocked that this kind of thing never happens in Moscow. Boy, where have we heard that before? Dylan. When asked if he had any idea who could have committed these crimes, Eric described an event that occurred approximately 1 month ago at the public restrooms downtown near Friendship Square. He said he stopped to use the bathroom at 1:30 to 2:30 a.m., and there was a thin-build, white male in his 30s with tattoos approximately 5 feet 10 inches tall in the bathroom wearing a white tank top and sharpening a fillet knife at the sink. Nothing further. Okay, yeah, well, that fits the suspect. If you believe there's only one person who did this, well, that fits. A fillet knife. Nothing further. Okay. Bye-bye. Wow. Guess that wasn't concerning. I don't know. All right, we're going to leave it there, guys. We'll leave it at 171. Let's see what this is. We'll set it up. Suspect 1, individual, unknown. Witness 1, a white female, is 53. City, Moscow. Work, Moscow. Phone type, business. Witness 2, 33-year-old white female. Okay. Moscow, Idaho. Witness 3. Work, business, Moscow. Okay. Witness 4, work, business, Moscow. 5, work, business, Moscow. Same thing. Same thing with 6. Witness 7's the same thing. Okay, any more? Oh, witness 8. Moscow, Idaho, business. 9, same thing. Okay, we're going to leave it right there, guys. Looks like this is in regards to a tip that had come in regarding information from a Moscow citizen named Blank. Okay, yeah, interesting. Okay, we're going to leave it right there, guys. I love you. Hey, we're getting closer to the weekend, my babies. Let's go into it. Let's go into nice and easy. All right, I love you. If I'm not back on here, guys, you have beautiful dreamscapes. Okay, love you all. Okay, we're gonna hold off on the contest for just tonight, and we'll pick the contest up back tomorrow. Okay, to give everybody a little breather. All right, babies, love you. All right, bye.